Okay, let's jump right in. We're about to dive into the absolutely fascinating and, let's be real, often chaotic love lives of Macedonian immigrants. Our guide for this is Slave Katin's incredible collection, Love Stories. And we're going to explore a world where choosing a partner, it's about so much more than just romance.
So Katin kicks things off with this quote, and wow, it really just hits you, right? Blood is thicker than water. The choice is neither easy nor uncomplicated. For this community, scattered all over the globe, love is never, ever just a private affair. It's a massive, high-stakes decision that's all tied up in heritage, cultural survival, and really the very definition of what family is.
All right, so let's get right into it. This is the heart of the matter, love in the diaspora. We're going to unpack the central dilemma that pretty much every single story in this collection grapples with. And believe me, it's a conflict that literally shapes destinies.
I mean, really let that sink in for a second. For these immigrants, the single biggest problem isn't just surviving day to day. It's not about landing a job or finding a home. Nope, it's choosing who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Because marriage, in this context, isn't just a contract between two people. It's seen as the sacred, powerful act of cultural preservation. It's literally how you keep your family's roots from dying out, even when you're an entire world away.
And this is what that search for roots is all about. It's this ideal that everyone's trying to protect. Think of it like a cultural fortress, right? It's built to shield their heritage from all the pressures of a brand new world. But, as we're about to see, fortresses can be pretty tricky to maintain.
And here it is. This is the core conflict, laid out plain and simple. Over on one side, you have the Macedonian ideal, right? Preserving your family roots, finding someone to share the good times and the bad, building a family with a good name. But then, on the other side, you have the reality of living abroad. You've got major culture clash, the new freedom of what the book calls joyful wanderings, and, the sexual revolution. These two things are on a total collision course.
So, take Andrea's journey in Canada. It's like a perfect case study of this whole conflict. First, he tries to connect with his roots. He falls for a Macedonian woman, Amelia. But then, she just vanishes. Gone. So, okay, he swings the other way and embraces his new world with a Canadian, Natalie. But after a month, she's out too, just can't settle down. You can see his dilemma, right? Do you choose a Macedonian or a non-national? And his resolution is fascinating. He finds true partnership with Angelina, a woman who is also a Canadian-born Macedonian. She lives in both worlds, just like he does.
Okay, so that's one way things can go. But now let's see what happens when that traditional ideal doesn't just bend a little, but when it smashes head-on into a totally unexpected, passionate romance.
All right, so meet Stefan. He's a hotel guide in the beautiful town of Ohrid. And then there's Linda, a wealthy German tourist. What starts out as, a classic summer fling, while it blossoms into this passionate 3-year affair. This is not your typical courtship. It's spanning countries, completely outside of any traditional rules.
And this is where the story gets, well, just wild. So after 3 years, Linda proposes. But then Stefan drops a bomb. He has to confess that he already has a Macedonian girlfriend that he fully intends to marry. So you'd think that's the end of it, right? Oh no. Linda comes back with a counteroffer that is just staggering. She suggests they both marry their respective partners, but just continue their affair in secret. And the craziest part? He agrees. They actually go through with it, and get this, they even attend each other's weddings as friends. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so Stefan and Linda's story is all about these wild, complicated choices. But sometimes, these stories go beyond choices, beyond compromises, and into the realm of just strange, unbelievable twists of fate.
Okay, you have got to hear Ivan's story. It's one of those you can't make this stuff up situations. So the day starts with Ivan plotting revenge. He's heading home to confront his unfaithful wife and her lover. But in the afternoon, he's in a taxi, and a pregnant stranger's simple advice, life is worth living, it just clicks, and he abandons the whole violent plan. Now here's the twist. That evening, he gets into another taxi, and he meets the very same woman. Only now, she's completely broken, suicidal, because she just found out about her own husband's infidelity. In this absolutely breathtaking moment, Ivan repeats her own words back to her, saving her life. And these two, they find a new beginning, together. It's just incredible.
Ivan's story it makes you stop and think, doesn't it? I mean, are these stories really about choice, or is destiny playing a much bigger role than we think?
You look at Andrea and Stefan, and they made these incredibly difficult choices that shaped their lives. But Ivan, man, it feels like his entire path was completely rewritten by this one single fated encounter. So it really brings up a fascinating question. How much control do we really have over our hearts?
So after all of these stories, some tragic, some almost comical, all of them deeply unpredictable, what are we supposed to make of that original ideal? You know, this idea of marriage as an undying fortress.
Well, remember Andrea? After his own chaotic journey, he came to a very firm conclusion. He's the one who says the Macedonian marriage is nevertheless an undying fortress. For him, at least, finding stability and true happiness meant coming home, marrying within the culture, even if it was a modern Canadian Macedonian version of it.
But do all the stories really support that idea? Is Andrea's conclusion the rule, or is it the exception? Because Stefan's story shows that fortress being seriously compromised, right? With a whole secret life built on the side. In Ivan's story, it shows the fortress being totally abandoned, with something brand new built from the ruins. So maybe the deeper truth here is that for love to survive in the diaspora, that fortress can't be rigid. It has to adapt, it has to bend, and sometimes it has to be rebuilt entirely.
Which really leaves us with this final big question. I mean, we live in a global village, right? The lines between cultures are getting blurrier every single day. And these stories, well, they're very specifically Macedonian, they tap into this universal tension that I think we all feel. It's that classic struggle between tradition and modernity, between our roots and our wings. So they force us to ask ourselves, in a world like this, what does home really mean for the heart?